The deadline for talks on Brexit trade pact expires today. It doesn't look good because both sides are acting tough. But there are doubts whether the last word will really be spoken. A few hours before the deadline set for a breakthrough in talks on the Brexit trade pact expires, doubts about an agreement are growing. Today at the latest, both sides decided a decision should be made. According to Federal Foreign Minister Heiko Maas, an agreement is getting more difficult every day, but it is still possible, as the Social Democratic politician told the newspapers of the Funke Media Group in Germany. He added, "That is why we as the EU will continue to negotiate as long as the window is open a crack. We will see what happens by Sunday and then assess the situation again." Theoretically, time would be until shortly before the turn of the year. But that's very big hypothetically. Only then will the transition phase come to an end, during which everything remains the same despite the British leaving the EU political part. The British media are therefore speculating whether a return to the negotiating table would not be possible even if they admitted the failure on Sunday. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson swore his compatriots to a no deal. "It is very, very likely that the negotiations will fail," he said. "But that too is a solution that is wonderful for Great Britain." And I don't often put my personal opinion that much in those, but what did he drink before that statement? But he continued, "After all, you can do exactly what you want from January 1st, the Prime Minister said on Friday. The most important point of contention besides fishing is the issue of competitive conditions. Brussels takes the position that competition from Great Britain can only hope for duty-free trade if both sides of the English Channel have the same labour, social and environmental standards. But for London, that is a matter of principle. Again and again, British officials stress that it is a question of the sovereignty of their country. With Brexit, one wants to regain control over one's own laws, borders, waters and one's own money, and not adopt the EU standards over which one no longer has any influence." Yeah, but why is that? For Johnson, it's absurd that, according to his presentation, the EU demands that Great Britain should follow EU rule changes at every turn. EU Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen countered on Friday in Brussels, "The British are free to deviate from European rules in the future, for example with regard to environmental standards. But the conditions for the European internal market would then also have to be adjusted. In other words, tariffs introduced. When it comes to fishing, the British want to decide for themselves who is allowed to catch how much in their waters. But the exclusive economic zone, which is the country now claims, is not in line with the historically evolved division of fishing grounds as defined in the framework of the European fisheries policy. Economically, the topic hardly plays a role, but symbolically, it's hardly to be underestimated for the former sea power Great Britain. Here too, neither side wants to give in. Commentators in the UK disagree on what's behind the stalemate. Both sides could rely on the other to give in and risk a serious miscalculation. Or might Johnson give in at the last moment in exchange for symbolic concessions and everything is just a carefully planned choreography that is supposed to portray him as a fighter in the eyes of the Brexit hardliners? It wouldn't be the first time, but nobody can be sure. In the event that it goes wrong, more than a third of Britons, that's 35%, would blame their own government for the failure of the negotiations, according to a lightning poll by the polling firm YouGov on Friday. A little more than a quarter, 27%, however, see responsibility with the European Union. Another quarter would blame both sides equally. And if you want to stay informed, especially today when the whole saga continues, subscribe to my channel and subscribe to my other channels. I'll see you in my next video. Viel Spaß!